The power of consistency. Most people think success comes from one big moment. One lucky break. One powerful connection. One viral video. One perfect opportunity that changes everything overnight. But the truth is far less glamorous and far more powerful than that. Success is not built in a moment. It is built in silence, in repetition, in showing up when nobody is watching, and in doing the same things again and again even when it feels like nothing is changing. That is the power of consistency. Imagine two people starting the same journey. Both want to lose weight. Both want to build a business. Both want to change their life. The first person is extremely motivated on day one. They go to the gym, they eat perfectly, they plan everything, they feel unstoppable. But after a few days, motivation fades. They miss one workout, then two, then they quit completely. The second person doesn't feel anything special on day one. No excitement, no hype, no emotional rush. But they decide something simple: I will not miss twice. Even if I miss one day, I will return the next day. Even if I feel lazy, I will do something small. Months pass. The first person is still restarting. The second person has transformed completely. That is consistency beating motivation. Consistency is not about intensity. It is about identity. It is about becoming someone who does not negotiate with excuses. The world will not always reward you instantly. In fact, most of the time, consistency feels invisible. You write one video script, nobody watches. You post one video, nobody cares. You go to the gym one week, nothing changes. You study one night, your grades don't jump. And this is where most people quit. Because they think effort should equal immediate reward. But life doesn't work like that. Life works like compound interest. Small actions repeated over time become unstoppable results. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop does nothing. 100 drops do nothing. Even 1,000 drops seem useless. But over time, the rock begins to change. Not because the drops became stronger, but because they became consistent. That is the secret. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be unbreakable in your repetition. Every successful person you admire is not successful because they were always motivated. They are successful because they stayed consistent when motivation disappeared. There were days they didn't feel like working. Days they wanted to quit. Days they questioned everything. But they still showed up. And that is what separated them from everyone else. Consistency builds trust with yourself. And this is something most people ignore. Every time you say, I will do it tomorrow, and you don't, you slowly break your own self-trust. And when self-trust breaks, discipline becomes impossible. You start doubting your own promises. You start relying on feelings instead of decisions. But when you become consistent, even in small things, you start believing yourself again. You start thinking, if I said I will do it, I will do it. That mindset changes everything. You don't need to change your whole life in one day. You just need to repeat small actions every day. Read 5 pages. Walk 10 minutes. Write 1 paragraph. Record 1 video. Learn 1 skill. Save a small amount of money. These actions look tiny, almost meaningless in the beginning. But over time, they build a life that looks extraordinary to others. Most people overestimate what they can do in one day and underestimate what they can do in 1 year. That is why they quit early. They expect massive change in a short time. But real growth is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It builds slowly until one day people suddenly say, wow, you changed so much. But what they don't see is the hundreds of days you repeated the same effort without applause. Consistency also teaches patience. In a world of instant results, patience feels like a superpower. Social media makes everything look fast. Success, money, fitness, fame, all seem instant. But behind every overnight success, there are years of invisible work. Years of showing up when nobody cared. Years of doing boring things that nobody posted online. There will be days when consistency feels useless. Days when you question, is this even working? And that is the most dangerous moment. Because nothing looks like it is changing on the surface, but everything is changing underneath. Your skills are improving. Your mindset is strengthening. Your habits are becoming automatic. You are becoming a different person without even realizing it. And then one day, something shifts. The results start appearing. What once felt impossible becomes easy. What once felt slow becomes natural. And people who quit early will call it luck. But you will know it was not luck. It was repetition. Consistency is also about discipline in emotions. Not every day will feel good. You will have lazy days, sad days, unmotivated days. But consistency says, I do not need to feel ready, I just need to show up. This is where real strength is built. Not in perfect conditions, but in imperfect days. Even if you are slow, even if you are behind, even if you are starting late, consistency still works. Because it is not about speed. It is about direction. A slow person who never stops will always beat a fast person who quits. And here is something important. Consistency does not mean perfection. It means progress. You will fail sometimes. You will skip days. You will lose focus. But consistency is not about never falling. It is about always returning. The moment you come back after failure, you are stronger than before. If you want to change your life, don't search for a magic formula. Don't wait for motivation. Don't depend on inspiration. Build consistency. Build the habit of showing up no matter what. Because your future is not built in one decision. It is built in thousands of repeated decisions. And one day, you will look back and realize it was never about talent. It was never about luck. It was never about timing. It was about what you repeated when nobody was watching. That is the real power of consistency. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary results. Not because they did something once, but because they did something enough times that it became part of who they are. And if you take just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Don't try to be perfect, just try to be consistent. Because consistency will take you places motivation never could. Now let's talk about how this can explode on YouTube.